At this point in time, you've already met with one of the transplant dietitians to discuss your nutrition goals for prior to transplant. So during this class, we'll be focusing on more of what happens during the transplant and after the liver transplant. Liver transplantation is a large abdominal surgery. Because of this, you will have a delay in the progression of your diet after the surgery. You'll expect to be on a liquid diet for about 2 to 4 days after the surgery. If for any reason you do have to delay starting on a liquid diet, we'll make sure to take care of that for you. The reason why we have to delay your diet progression is because of the effects of anesthesia. Some people may experience nausea or vomiting and need to be on a clear liquid diet or IV nutrition for longer than expected. Also, the surgeons had to manipulate your organs a little bit, so that could cause some discomfort and you may not feel like eating large amounts for the first few days. But we will slowly progress your diet from clear liquids to full liquids and then to a regular consistency diet. You may require diet restrictions during this period of time just based on what's happening with you. You may experience some electrolyte abnormalities, and we will be monitoring those things on a daily basis along with the rest of the transplant team and making any adjustments to your diet as needed. In the first few days after surgery, while you are on a liquid diet, you may need oral supplements such as Boost or Ensure to supplement your diet. You also may need these for an extended period of time after the surgery until your appetite returns. Many of you are already using products like this to meet your nutrition needs prior to surgery, and if you are, great, you already know which ones you like. For those of you that have not tried these, I encourage you to try them to identify one that you like the taste of, because we will strongly encourage you to use it at least for the first week or two after surgery. As I mentioned before, in the first 6 to 8 weeks after the surgery, nutrition is key to promoting the healing process and moving forward. Your nutrition needs are much higher during this period of time than they will be long-term after the surgery. You have very high calorie needs at this time, so this will not be the time period to try to restrict your diet to lose weight. It is very important that you support the whole body in healing by eating enough calories. Also, during this time, you do still have very high protein needs, much like you had prior to the transplant. So we do still strongly encourage that you eat protein at every meal and every snack to try to meet those increased needs during this time. And once again, you may need to use some kind of oral supplement to better meet those protein needs. During this time, even if you have diabetes, we try not to over-restrict carbohydrates because they are a very quick source of energy that your body can use to heal. So even if you have diabetes, we do still want you eating carbohydrates and enough to provide that type of energy. We just may have to make some adjustments to your medications to help control your blood sugars. But once again, we try not to over-restrict during this period of time. Also during this period of time, your fat needs are a little bit increased, but not too much. So I'm saying you don't have to eat a lot of fat, but it's okay if you don't want to restrict fat during this period of time. We would just like you to get calories and nutrients where you can get them. During this time, your vitamin and mineral needs are very similar to that of a healthy person. If you already have a vitamin deficiency that's been diagnosed prior to surgery, we will make sure that you are on replacement therapy to help that. You may benefit from a multivitamin during this time, but it's not required. Long-term after transplant, your nutrition needs do normalize, especially once you've healed from surgery. You no longer need extra calories to promote healing. Unless you're someone that lost a significant amount of weight when you were sick with liver failure, then you may need to continue a higher calorie diet to get back to a healthier weight. But for most people, you need to start cutting back and being more mindful of a healthy diet at this time. Your protein needs also normalize. So long term, you do not need any protein supplementation. You really just need kind of the general amount. I mean, you can go back to eating moderate portions of meat. You don't have to push extra high protein snacks or anything like that. Also, if you do have diabetes, this would be the time to start being more mindful of how many carbohydrates you're consuming, and you may need to start scaling back. For someone without diabetes, your carbohydrate needs normalize as well, so there's no need to push extra. That might lead to issues as well, like weight gain, so just normal amounts in your diet. Also, your fat needs are normal as well. We do encourage a heart-healthy diet during this time to try to reduce some of the side effects from the medications and to promote a healthier lifestyle. The immunosuppression medication that you take after transplant is vital to your success with the transplant. However, they do have side effects, and when paired with an unhealthy diet, you can experience a number of complications. Some of these would include obesity, diabetes, osteoporosis, or high cholesterol. So that's when diet and exercise become very important long-term in keeping you healthy and keeping your new liver healthy. And like I said, diet and exercise help all of these things. If you do experience weight gain because of the medications, we can work with you on a plan specific to you. And if you do experience any osteoporosis or softening of your bones, exercise is key to getting those bones stronger. You also may need to increase the calcium in your diet. If you do start to experience higher cholesterol levels after the transplant, we will talk to you about some diet changes, increasing fiber, incorporating healthy fats into your diet, and exercise to reduce that. Also, some people can experience increased fat accumulation in the new liver. So once again, it'll be very important to maintain a healthy weight and exercise to prevent that from occurring. One of the major considerations for life after transplant is food safety. Because of the medications, your immune system is suppressed and you are more susceptible to getting food poisoning or a foodborne illness from food that's not cooked or handled safely. So we will spend some time with you after the surgery teaching you about food safety practices. You will be encouraged to follow a lot of the practices that restaurants are already mandated to do. So it's nothing too out of the ordinary. Hand washing is going to be one of the most important tools in preventing a foodborne illness. You need to make sure that you're washing your hands after using the restroom and definitely before eating. And at restaurants, after touching things, you want to wash your hands because you don't know what germs you're spreading here. Also, as soon as you're bringing food into the home, it needs to be washed before you eat it. Fruits, vegetables, before you even cut them, please wash them vigorously to make sure that you're eliminating any dirt or bacteria that could be on the skin of the fruits and vegetables. We'll also talk to you about safe handling of raw meat. This is definitely a place where you can spread bacteria in your kitchen. So washing counter surfaces well after handling meats, washing your hands well after handling meats is going to be very important. You will need to make sure that you are cooking animal products, especially to certain temperatures. We will go over these specific temperatures with you as each type of animal protein, fish, chicken, turkey, beef, pork, all have specific temperatures that are safest to cook to eliminate bacteria. I will say the one thing that is a little bit more lenient is steak. Yes, you can have your steak not well done, but we do ask that you do not eat anything on the rare side, okay? So you can have steak again now after transplant, it just needs to be safe. We also want you to be safe when you're eating outside the home. In a restaurant, as I mentioned before, they are mandated to follow the same guidelines that we will teach you. However, foods that are served on a buffet or salad bar are higher risk options as the public could be touching these things, causing a spread of germs. So we do ask that you do not eat food off of a buffet or salad bar and that you go with foods that are already on the menu. But please order foods cooked to the proper temperature to reduce your risk of getting sick. We also will talk about eating at people's houses, picnics, family gatherings, because that can be an opportunity for foodborne illness to occur. As foods are sitting out long periods of time, we do have a time frame that we would like food to be eaten to try to reduce the risk of bacteria spreading. Because you really want to eat foods that are hot when they're supposed to be hot and cold when they're supposed to be cold, not when they're in what we call the danger zone that bacteria likes. When it comes to leftovers, I definitely encourage you to eat hot foods when they're supposed to be hot and cold foods when they're supposed to be cold. So all leftovers need to be reheated if they were initially hot to try to kill any of the bacteria that could have grown when they were in the danger zone or cooler temperatures. There are some dangerous food sources after transplant, in particular undercooked fish or seafood. So sorry, no more sushi unless it's a tempura or something like a California roll. You could do those. Also, raw oysters are out. I'm sorry, they're way too high risk and you could get very ill from eating them. So just with any shellfish, they need to be cooked very thoroughly. As mentioned before, the immunosuppression medication is vital to your success with transplant. However, it does interact with a lot of different nutrients. So you have to be careful about what you're eating and what you're taking after the transplant so that the medications work for you in the manner that they are meant to work for you. There are two main foods that will cause these medications to be absorbed differently than how they are intended, and that is grapefruit and pomegranate. So these two fruits and their juices need to be completely avoided after the transplant, and this is for life while you're taking immunosuppression medication. Also, green tea can interact with the medication, so we do ask that you avoid green tea. If you think about it, it's an immune booster, and our medications are supposed to suppress your immune system, so they're working against each other. There are some other herbal teas that can interact with the medications that you do have to avoid. It's quite a long list of ones that are okay and not okay, so we do ask that you either consult with the dietitian or the pharmacist if there is a specific herbal tea that you do like to drink to see if it is safe for you. We also advise against the use of any herbal supplements. You may think that they're natural and that they're healthy for me, so they should be safe. But a lot of herbal supplements interact with a variety of medications, and especially our medications, as they are pretty powerful. Before trying any herbal supplements for a cold, for weight loss, for any other ailment, please consult with the pharmacist or the dietitian. Where we tend to run into the most issues would be weight loss supplements, especially ones that are heavily promoted on the internet or on TV shows. They do often interact with the medications and cause issues such as high medication levels that can lead to toxicity. So we do ask that you please talk to us about that prior to trying anything. And you should talk to the dietitian anyway if you're trying to lose weight, because we're definitely going to have more answers for you. I know we've covered a lot of information today, but that's why we're here for you. So please, if you have any questions or concerns about your nutrition pre or post transplant, please contact one of your transplant dietitians.